Yeah, all right. So I guess I'm kind of curious. There's this whole thing. Listen, Mama Max, I guess, is still. I mean, I saw something where he was like goodbye forever kind of a deal. And I can't find. I don't know what's going on. I know. I think it has to do with the last investigation about the vampire. Yada yada yada. In that video, Mama Max put on an incredible performance piece criticizing Moist Critical to try to get him to talk about a topic. The one thing that really pointed out to me was that in this situation, he said that the girl wouldn't give him all the information because they were still like handling it with the cops. So it's like, okay, if you don't have all, you don't really know what's going on. What are you doing? Number one. And number two, this is something that should be managed with the cops more than anything else. And I guess he talked to some people. Lurthix is one of them. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. It's an hour and 45 minutes. I might watch the intro, the first call, and maybe when Mudahar comes in, just to see what he has to say. But let's see what we got here. I'm curious. That link for him being busted for CP. Really? Wait, what? Where is that?
Then let's just, you still feel confident just with that one girl's like testimony to go on your 750K sub channel and just openly say his name, Anthony
Where do they say that?
Field, and then call him a pedophile? To like that video got like 1 million views, right? I mean, I feel like that's an insane thing to
Is this about this vampire guy?
do.
I think we should listen to survivors. I do
Yeah,
think
we should listen to potential survivors, vampire survivors. Am I right, guys? We're playing vampire survivors when we talk about the vampire. If that's the one that we're referring to. Yeah, you should definitely listen to potential people, but you need to do it responsibly, you know?
we should present evidence when it's taken to court or the police.
You were just accused falsely of being a pedophile yourself, and you can't show empathy to someone else, and you can't
Damn,
fathom
really?
that someone could fake some shit? What do you mean? Like, you're involved
Yeah, I mean, listen, I understand the desire to do good, but there's some of these, like, things, you know, I stay away from some of them, too, just because, like, you don't really know what's going on 100% of the time. And you want to make sure that you're careful, that you don't, like, falsely accuse somebody and ruin their entire life.
them, you're getting them harassment, you're directing your whole fucking audience to them, where like you know what's gonna happen, like you know the implication that comes there. You're trying to call out this guy for being a pedophile, and you're sending thousands of people to harass them. I think that sets a horrible fucking standard when it's someone that you can't even prove is guilty.
Why are you running cover for these vampire pedos?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, Keem. I'm fucking defending pedophiles right now. You
He doesn't exactly have a good track record for his accusations, so I don't know why anybody takes him seriously.
nailed it on the fucking head, my brother. Oh, he added me to the call. All right, boys.
I don't know. He's in
I see it, dude.
All right, see you, man.
reviews of animes. Okay.
Yo, hello? Yo, sorry I missed the initial call. MamaMax?
Hello, lyrics.
Hello, good to talk to you. Okay, I want to come in good faith last time. Okay, last time I was memeing a lot.
The real question, why is he talking to these people about this topic, to be honest with, like, just to be real with you? You know, he seems to be in the wrong, to be honest with you, but just from optically, like, why are you talking to people who don't really matter? And I'm not saying that I don't matter, but my thing is like, you made this video on whatever, why are you talking to, like, small commentary YouTubers that nobody really cares about, like, about this topic? This isn't, you could just ignore them and it would just go away. You see San do it all the time.
Came in like a dick. I just want to,
Yeah, I can turn the speed up a little bit.
You know, offer my peace offering, apologies, and just have a conversation. Is that all right?
I would love that.
Okay, great.
Do you want to turn on your video?
My video?
Yeah.
Like my camera?
If you want, do you want to?
So that's gonna fuck up my OBS. So sorry, I'm not gonna mess with that.
That's fine then.
But I'm
Dude,
I'm live on
me,
stream
man.
anyway. I'm live on streaming though. Anyway.
That's fine.
Lyrics, yo, what up, dude? I like your shit. I wanted to say, you can still meme, man. Still do your thing.
Yeah, no. But I came in like condescending. I don't want to harp on it too hard, but I was like pretty condescending.
Because Mama Max is starved for attention. Fair enough.
Because that was the first time I heard about the story, and it was just such a ridiculous story. I just thought it was like pretty like funny to just like meme about. But I'm coming in good faith this time. I just have some questions, honest questions. Still gonna be like harsh ones because I do have like my many critiques of you, Mama Max. Like regardless though, but I just want to like come in a better faith, approach. You know what I mean?
Come in better faith.
That's all.
Yes.
Okay, so first and foremost, I think we initially just disagree a lot with how you are going about this Camden Gerard Davis case. So
Yeah, it should go to the cops like he claimed that it was already going to, and so what? There doesn't really need to be a big public thing.
I am going to talk about that a little, but there's questions I have on other things you've done in the past to show, I guess, like a pattern of behavior I've kind of like found, or like I guess I have been observing.
Okay.
But first, let's start off with the most recent case with Camden. I wanted to ask because after our call, you did something I found was pretty egregious.
A little sussy.
Where you started to like direct your chat to tell them to go reach out to the mom and to the brother to find out information about Camden. That's true, right?
It kind of seems unprofessional. Why not just have the police look into it? It seems like that could lead them to get harassed.
I guess so.
Yeah. So I think that sets a horrible fucking standard because, like, to my knowledge, you don't have any proof that they're even involved, right? Like,
and you're also using people that are unprofessional to do this. I mean, that could just be considered harassment, especially if they are innocent. So
they're like, the mom didn't help out Camden with his potential abuse to these kids, or the brother. Like, you can't prove.
Well, that's why vigilante justice really isn't the best way to go.
Either of that, correct?
And if you do actually do it, you need to be very responsible about it.
Correct.
And I think if you involve them, you're just, even like you're involving them, you're getting them harassment, you're directing your whole fucking audience to them, where like you know what's going to happen. Like you know the implication that comes there. You're trying to call out this guy for being a pedophile, and you're sending thousands of people to harass them. I think that sets a horrible fucking standard when it's someone that you can't even prove is guilty.
You're talking about Camden.
No, I'm talking about the mother and brother being culpable. You can't prove that they're culpable to blame here. They're just fucking family members to the guy, you know? So why do they have to get shit? It's like, what if your brother did some horrible crimes?
What is this Reddit here? MamaMax's upload account, mega upload account, suspended and reported to law enforcement. MamaMax occasionally referenced paste bins in the description of his videos. They've all been removed from his YouTube, but he found the paste bin account is Vimeo. Clicking through, I found some links to his Mega NZ account. What the fuck are these things? I was shocked to see the notification. I tried to open one of them. He recently brought up in an interview with Spencer that he's been investigated by the FBI. I wonder why. Additionally, Mega's upload has a transparently report that specifies the types of material are classified as objectionable and how it is identified using resources within Interpool and NCMEC, which means that MamaMax was storing CSEM on his hard drive. What does CSEM mean? Is it like child? What is that? Is a nonprofit Swiss technology company. Oh. Oh, wait, what is it? Wait, what? Wait, what? CP is prohibited by law because it exploits the child depicted in it, reflecting that it increasingly being called CSEM. Oh. Okay, that's just another word for CP. Child sexual exploitation material. Yikes. Okay. Oh, I'm going to assume he has this as evidence. Oh my god, what the hell? What is happening? This is insane. Thank you to those sharing their stories, other examples of this stuff to break down some clarification why I reached out to ACSM as a solution. Okay. I don't know if this is an actual fact. This seems to me to be some. I'm going to take this as speculation because I don't really know how much fact this is. I don't really feel like pressing buttons. You can't hurt me video where the fact that MamaMax is admitted to receiving this. Oh. Yikes.
For everyone. Can you talk a little bit about the emails you get? Bounty hunters, gore, lawyers? That's a good question.
Wait, sorry, repeat that.
So one of the users, sorry, I gotta scroll back up. Here we go. Kaish, I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that. Can you talk a little about the emails you get? Bounty hunters, gore, lawyers?
I get a lot of fucked up shit sent to my email. A lot of the shit I do not even open because people do try to send me CP and be like, hey, I got groomed, help me. And I'm like, hold on.
Okay.
I can't look at this. I can't open this. So please, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Holy shit.
kids don't always understand. And then there's also like pedophiles who try to like do shit, like send me CP and like, I guess they're trying to like get me arrested, but I'm a bit smarter than they think I am, so I don't involve myself with all that. But when I do see a subject line that interests me, like by like a bounty hunter or like a hitman, not that I would ever respond to such things. And everything I'm about to say is of course fictional and part of the character.
I mean, listen, he might be telling the truth that he just gets it and he doesn't look at it or whatever. I just think that if somebody ever started, if I had a whole bunch of fans starting to send me this as evidence, I'd be like, I'm out of my depth. I'm a fat fucking YouTuber nobody. I'm not getting this involved into this. Why would he involve? What does this guy have, like a criminal justice degree or something? Why? I would be so uncomfortable. I'd be like, what the fuck is happening here? Okay. What the hell?
People start harassing you because of something your brother did. You're justifiably so. You'd be like, what the fuck? I have nothing to do with this. But now I'm getting phone calls. I'm getting my shit blown up. I'm now getting all these emails and spam calls. And now because of an action my brother did that I had nothing to do with, I'm the one to pay for it.
I mean, he's telling 14-year-old girls that he
Wait,
killed
sorry,
his mother and his
sorry,
brother.
excuse me. I respect whoever's talking, but I'm talking
So debate weird.
to Max. Can we get a one
Excuse me, I respect you, but please don't talk.
on one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks.
Okay.
So
lyrics.
weird.
if I begin to answer your question, will you allow me to answer it fully before interrupting?
Of course. I just interrupted him because I want to talk to you. Of course, though.
Well, you interrupted me the last time we talked, and I was trying to answer your questions.
Okay. I won't do it.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay. So, if I had a family member that was a pedophile and I had people blowing me up about it, would it annoy me? Yes. But is it worth my attention? Yes.
Well, how do you know that they are a pedophile, though? That's the question here, isn't it?
And I think it is worth their attention.
Why not go to the police if you have evidence, you know?
I think the lives that are at stake are worth, people calling them.
Because, like, I understand people are like, well, the criminal justice system is flawed. You're right. But at the end of the day, it's better than whatever this system is. What do you think is more flawed, the criminal justice system or the YouTuber system? Which one is better? Which one do you think is a little more professional parsing through this information truly?
Got it.
I mean, isn't the story that, from what I remember, and I could be wrong because it's been a little while, but isn't the story that like this guy like was convinced 16-year-old girls he was a fucking dragon vampire or some dumb bullshit, and they were like, "Oh my god, I want to live with you instead of my own mom." Like just weird, cringe, possibly autistic stuff. Not to be insulting or anything, but I don't know what's going on here.
So you feel like the ends justify the means?
Yes, I had this conversation with Colton, and I still feel the same way.
Okay, cool, I guess.
So at least you're consistent on that, where even if it happened to you, then you still hold the same standard. But can you at least understand other people's perspective on how if you set that standard for the internet, where you start involving so many other people that aren't even directly involved,
Just
they
involve
become
the police
collateral
and
damage
move
for
on.
something that they're not even involved with, you could see how that's a horrible standard to set. And now you're just involved.
Well, I wouldn't even go that direction. I would go in the direction of like you sending fans to harass their parents isn't productive. Just because you're saying like, oh, just ask them about what happened or whatever thing he's signaling isn't going to cause them to actually do that. They're going to take that and use it as a justifier to be like harass and bully people who probably weren't even involved in this entire situation, if the situation is even real. That's the direction I would go more than anything else.
Involving innocent people into a crime they didn't even commit.
I think it's a standard that should be set if the person they are going after is an actual sexual predator who is
Did they confirm that he was?
I'm fine with setting that standard.
Just because they happen to be born in the same family?
If they have contact with the person or know of a way to make them stop doing what they're doing, yes.
Okay. Cool.
Know of a way to stop them to do what they're doing? What do you mean by that?
Kill him,
Just because like you're a brother, what do you mean? How are they going to stop him from touching the kids?
Well, let's say we make contact with his mother or brother.
Well, that's not the issue, though. Like, let's say it's one thing for you to go, hey, I'm going to reach out to the mother or brother to see if I can get information. It's another thing to engage in a level of a harassment campaign. No, aren't those two different things, right? Like, it's one thing for you to reach out and try to do your own independent investigation versus telling your fans to go and basically harass them until they'll respond to you, presumably.
They might know information that is pertinent for law enforcement.
Okay.
Yes, but let's say, like, what if you do reach out to them and they say they don't want to be involved? Where do you go from then? Do you just keep telling your audience to harass them? I think I remember specifically a line you said to your audience is that, don't stop till you get a response. I mean, you could see that's a horrible look.
Yeah,
like you're
sure.
literally weaponizing your audience.
Well, not just that, but you're harassing people, which is illegal.
And you're
I mean, at that point, you're calling for harassment, so I think they would actually have legal grounds to do something.
justifying it with the ends justify the means, that all under like the umbrella that, I'm taking down pedophiles, so it doesn't matter what tactics I use as long as we get the conclusion in the end. It doesn't matter what path I take to get it. And I think that's
I don't agree that it's like whatever tactics we use are necessary. I think there are some tactics that should not be used. But I think
like storing CP. That's probably not a good one.
And I know you're saying harassing, but I made it clear I do not want my audience harassing them.
Well, but if you tell them to not take no for an answer, which, by the way, in messaging them, then that is harassment. Just because you don't define it as such doesn't mean it's not.
But if there's a way they can make contact with them and find that anything that is pertinent to the case, I think that is worth doing.
Don't you think it'd be better if a police officer did that? Like, I could have swore they mentioned that they turned over some information to the police. Like, at that point, it's a police matter. The only other, I'm pretty sure that they had said that. And in fact, again, that was one of the reasons why MamaMax even said he didn't have all the information, is because some of it was going on with the police. So she didn't give him all the information, the girl that's come forward. So don't you think that you're just, at this point, it just seems like you're irresponsibly doing this for some kind of like public attention, no?
I hear what you're saying, but I guess I just necessarily don't buy it, because in your stream, you acknowledged on how people have doxed you before, correct? And how people, like, how that's affected your life. So you're very familiar with how the internet works. And you're very familiar that if you're telling thousands of people on a live stream that, hey, you know what, you should contact these people to get information about this pedophile. And also, like, you're doxing the mom's name. Didn't you do that?
Saying the full name of an individual is not doxing.
It kind of is. No, I'm pretty sure that is doxing. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean?
Do you not know the definition of doxing?
I mean,
Saying the full name of an individual is doxing. Wait, what? Search for and publish private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent. Like, yeah, it's doxing. You leaked their name. And there's other identifiers out there as well that makes it even scarier. So, like, I'm assuming you know, like, the town that this person lives in because you're investigating their son or whatever. So, yeah, and with the intention of getting them to be harassed into giving out information about her son, that literally is doxing. No? What is he talking about? This guy's crazy.
I think it's fair to say if you're uncovering personal information about someone that they don't offer themselves, that's a form of doxing. I mean, you could play semantics about it, but if you fucking, like, release my full name on live stream right now, that would be a form of doxing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Full names do not count as PII and do not count as doxing.
Am I the dumb one? I'm so confused right now. There's no way that's true. What? That's personal identifying information.
I mean, again,
did he say PII?
Yeah.
That would be a form of doxing. Absolutely.
Full names do not count as PII and do not.
Are you supposed to say personal identifying information? I'm assuming that's what PII is. Why is he even saying it like that? He's got a little bit of the Vosh in there, right? Where you say like a big word or still like some kind of a term or something to try to make it you seem like you're smart. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? that's your fucking full name. What do you mean it's not a personal information? What?
That counts as doxing.
What the fuck?
I mean, again, you can like play the semantics games, but do you have a
my
problem?
God.
Don't you see the problem of
This guy's so dumb.
Live on air to thousands of people?
To be fair, you had this take during the naughty situation, I think. No, I didn't. To be fair, August, you're wrong. Just you're objectively incorrect. I can dunk on him as much as I want. That was never my take on the Nadia situation. My take on the Nadia situation was that she released somebody's name, and yeah, it's doxing. But in that instance where there was no other identifying information, it wasn't that big of a deal. But it was still wrong, and I understood why she would get a temporary ban. But people calling for a permanent ban, I thought was disproportionate. I never said, oh, this isn't doxing. It is. I just think like, hey, a name without any other information, not that big of a deal. Not a good thing. She should be punished for it. Twitch probably should never undid the ban that they gave her. But I didn't say like, oh, this is perfectly okay. I think that's a difference between knowing the person's kids, town that they're in, and other information, and then releasing a full name explicitly saying to go harass this person for information is so tremendously different from that. It's not even funny. That is leagues apart from this situation. It's not even close to comparable. Not even close to comparable. So, no, I never had this situation. I can go in as hard as possible. This is fucking insane.
Because through a full name, you could find out.
And even if I had that take originally, I would just be like, well, that's a dumb take if I thought it wasn't doxing. If I said that, then like you could slice my fucking left testicle off. But like, yeah, this is dumb.
Much other private information about someone. You understand that, right?
According to the law and also YouTube guidelines, releasing full names do not count as doxing.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I'm just going to say what I said again. Through a full name, you could find out much other private information about someone. So even if you don't think it's doxing inherently, it's the first step and you're walking up right to the door to doxing someone.
I agree with you, Lyrics. I know that names can lead to addresses and phone numbers.
So
yeah, and they already knew the town that they lived in. So
why are you playing this game with me? Like, you know, like you already know this.
It is not against the law.
Do you operate just on what's against the law or behind morals and ethics?
I do operate behind morals and ethics.
So why are you giving me a legal argument? You should give me a moral argument.
I think reaching out to the family members of a sexual predator is worth their.
Is he a confirmed sexual predator, by the way?
Their phones getting.
And if so, why isn't he in jail?
Like calls, their emails getting emailed. That is my point.
I just think that sets a horrible standard, man. And I guess at least you're consistent and you're fine with that happening to you. Do you getting your life, like you getting your shit leaked, you getting tons of phone calls, you getting spammed and harassed just because a brother that you had nothing to do with started to interact with a minor. Now you have to pay the consequences just because you were born into a family with a pedophile. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on there. I mean, I guess unless you have any other like defenses or statements, I just think that's a horrible look.
Okay.
That is the world
Is this guy a confirmed pedophile or what? Like, that's the real
we
question.
live in, unfortunately.
Do you view this as the only way to catch Camden? Are you like, I guess, I don't say this in a disrespectful way, but are you like, I guess, desperate that you need to reach out to the mom and brother for information?
It is urgent because he is still active.
Active doing what?
I mean, I guess I just disagree. I don't think even if the end goal is to try to save minors, I think like that tactic specifically sets a horrible standard where now you're basically giving like the okay to say it's fine to release public information and doxes and harass people, even though they're not involved, if it means the end goal potentially might help me out in catching Camden, because you don't even know if it's going to help. You don't even know that. You're just rolling the dice. That's like the main problem. It would be one thing if you would be able to look at the whole picture and say, you know what, it is going to be a tough ride to get there, but if it means that a lot of kids are not going to get touched, and versus the mother and brother.
Well, I mean, listen, not for nothing, but if the guy is actually confirmed a pedophile, sure, I don't really care if they're doing this. It's still not right. But that's my question: is like, has that even been confirmed in the first place? Like,
being harassed. I'm just gonna have to take that fucking.
And why is he debating this? Like,
on my back, on my shoulder, on the chest, on the chin. You know what I mean? But you don't even know it. So like, you very well could have just harassed the mother and brother for no fucking reason, and you don't even get an end goal conclusion there. You know?
Okay.
I mean, we can do what ifs. Like, what if they don't get harassed? What if just we use their information to get to Camden?
Nah, well, you know what I'm saying. I think my hypothetical is much more likely because you and I both know how the internet works. You're sending out these people, they're gonna get their phone blown up, their emails blown up. That is like, I'm very confident, 99% sure that's gonna happen. That they're gonna get harassed because of this.
Okay.
But what you're not confident in is that it's going to help you get this guy in jail and protect more minors. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I understand where you're coming from, Lyrics.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to agree. That's why I mentioned at the start that I think with like specifically the Camden case, we just fundamentally just disagree a lot. So, but I want to bring up some more points if that's okay with you.
Go for it.
Sure.
Okay. So recently, I've been just like, I guess, looking at your back catalog, like trying to research or whatever. And I noticed in your response to like your old allegation video that you sent out to respond to the 5 X's coming out against you or whatever, the 4 X's. And at the end, and it seemed like for the most part, it was a good vindication video. Like, it seems like you came out on top.
Well, it mostly just seemed like MamaMax is a fucking weirdo, but yeah,
like
I remember watching that. He was just like kind of a weird guy.
There wasn't substance to those girls' story.
I talked about that before. There was some substance to it from what I remember. I'm not saying he's like a sexual predator or anything, but I remember listening to it.
But at the end, though, I got really caught off guard. And you then doxed Magnetar, which was the guy who uploaded the video against you. And you not only doxed him, but then you called him a pedophile too. And then you like self-admitted 2 minutes later that you don't even have enough evidence to prove that he's a pedophile. So that just like really confused me.
I did not dox Anthony Field. His full name was always available.
What do you mean available? That's
It was on his Twitter.
Okay.
It was on his Twitter, on his like Magnetar YouTube Twitter account.
No, on his unfiltered political Twitter account.
Okay, whatever.
Well, I mean, what's necessarily the context?
He had other criminal charges, but never anything related to this explicit police report with Spencer, maybe. And now they said that they aren't going to the police, so I guess it's over. Is that what it is?
Dig that up, or because
to be clear,
because even if it is,
he did.
Yeah, keep going.
He is the one who doxed me.
He's the one who doxed you.
He did actually dox me to Kiwi Farms.
Okay, and that's a fair critique. If he did that, then I can't defend that at all. And that's nothing that he did. But necessarily, I don't think that's justification for you to dox him back. I mean,
well, I mean, it would be, but okay.
Right. But I guess that's where you disagree. You don't think you doxed him.
Is there anything of substance other than like this doxing argument? Like that they talk about if this case is like real or not? Or?
So I'm wondering.
They posted a video with my driver's license. I said his full name.
Yeah, while calling him a pedophile.
Okay.
He is a pedophile.
Okay, then I'm curious.
He is verifiable.
How do we know that he's a pedophile?
Really a pedophile.
Okay, I'm curious because I just talked to Magnetar on my stream just like an hour ago, and he told me that he didn't know what you were talking about at all, and that those screenshots he has no recollection of, and he doesn't know what happened. So I guess I'm just curious. I don't even know what happened. I'm just curious because I haven't seen evidence on both sides.
Okay.
So do you have any evidence proving he's a pedophile? Because you didn't show it in your video.
What do you want? His dick pic?
No.
No, evidence that he's a pedophile. You'd want evidence that he's talking to people that are like under 13.
What?
Well, really anything, even if he's not a pedophile and he's like a whatever, evophile, whatever bullshit, like talking to minors is still wrong. But like what has he got other than a dick pic?
It's proving he's a pedophile.
Like screenshots of him talking to like children?
I think his behaviors prove that he is a pedophile.
What behavior?
What is his behavior? That's what I'm asking you.
I mean, Spencer talked on stream a little bit about what she saw. We all went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll let her speak about that if she wants to. But
What?
from what the person he sent his dick pic to when she was 15 said.
How old was he when he sent it?
I mean, she verified Anthony Field sent.
Magnetar docs evidence pedo shows his name. Okay, this is his stuff. What did she say? Wait, what?
I mean, she verified Anthony Field sent her a dick pic when she was like 14 or 15.
How old was he?
How did she verify?
How old is Magnetar? This is a really big question.
Bryce
in the
Hayes
video.
super chatted $1.99. Spam Cumpapar in the chat.
What the? Okay. Who's Magnetar?
Well, I mean, you just like scroll through a whole bunch of DMs. I mean, necessarily. I mean, I'm just like playing devil's advocate. You could fake those DMs, and I'm talking to Magnetar, and he says those DMs are fake. So I'm just like wondering.
Oh, okay. They're fake.
I mean, yeah, that's what he's telling me. I'm just trying to figure out the story.
Who the fuck is this?
Isn't that what all my exes said, that everything I presented was fake? I mean, that's...
It's interesting that this guy is like, what does he not have like any? Is this Magnetar? Is this who we're talking about?
It hadn't even slowed. The light was...
Who the fuck are we talking about?
If you want to believe them, you can, but they're real.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like like you're laughing at him saying it's fake, but it's necessarily like the burden of proof is on you to like prove that he is a pedophile, right? If you're gonna openly call him a pedophile in your video, like you would have to show evidence.
Do you want me to give you my login info to my Instagram so you can see the DMs yourself? Do you?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. Like, also give me his age.
Do you want me to interview her and have her say it with her voice? Do you need a face? Like, what more?
You need a lot. Yeah, whatever we need.
Do you want?
I think even if she, so let's say absolutely that those DMs weren't fake, and this girl came to you and said that he's a pedophile and that he did this to me. Then do you still feel confident just with that one girl's like testimony to go on your 750K sub channel and just openly say his name, Anthony Field, and then call him a pedophile? To like that video got like 1 million views, right? I mean, I feel like that's an insane thing to do.
He is a pedophile.
Who's Anthony?
Based off
Why
of...
is that insane?
Yeah, but I'm asking what it's based off of, and what you're telling me is like one girl's account, and like I think that's fine for you to believe it behind the scenes. But I think when you
what else? There's got to be more information. How old was he? How old is she at the time? What is happening here? What video are they referencing? What the fuck? Hey, thank you so much for the 5 months, small gut from JCon. First time in the stream of my meet out. Very good.
A 750K sub YouTube channel, and you're confidently calling someone a pedophile. You gotta have like a higher bar, don't you think so?
I think we should listen to survivors. I do think we should present.
Okay, but you need facts and you need evidence. So enough of this. What is we talking about here? Is this the person we're referring to, Magnetar? Like who the fuck? I can't even find
evidence when it's taken to court or the police.
You were just accused falsely of being a pedophile yourself, and you can't show empathy to someone else, and you can't fathom that someone could fake some shit. What do you mean?
They should still be listened to.
Hey, please, I'm talking to Max, please.
Sure, you should listen to what they have to say. That doesn't mean that you take it as a fact. What is this? What happened to the child predator on TikTok? Dude, I have no idea who they're fucking referring to.
One thing, chill out.
This is the dude who likes you, lyrics.
Like Max, can you just respond to what I'm saying?
I'm responding to you, but you're here with a group of people. It's not just you and me.
Okay, man.
So do you? Anytime someone says, "This dude sent me a dick pic when I was underage," you want them to...
I want them to tell me the name of or how old the person that sent the pic was. That's the first thing I would ask.
Every time have evidence of that?
Yeah.
Max,
yes. Yeah. Yes. You need evidence of it. Or yeah, that's how the... Yeah.
Just trying to explain to you this. You made a whole hour-long video about a whole bunch of girls accusing you of false shit, including pedophilia, being a predator, being an abuser. And then at the end, you ironically then accuse someone else of being a pedophile with one girl's testimony? Like, isn't that painfully ironic?
It is not just her testimony. She had friends who saw it.
Yes.
He says the age much later, 18 or something, and he lowers the age of the girl. 18 and 15, I don't care. Do I think it's appropriate? Not really. Is that pedophilia? Not a chance. Not even close. 18 and 15, That's really not a huge issue. I would say from a societal perspective, it's like it's nobody really cares in society. I would say like, yeah, it's an inappropriate age range, but you wouldn't add predatory intent to that age range. So if it's really that age, who gives a shit? Like, why are we? That's not pedophilia. You're gonna have a whole fucking meltdown over 18 and 15. You're fucking annoying.
Told me about it.
I'm glad you brought that up. So you said multiple people who saw it, and then you sourced your sister, but you didn't show anyone else. You said you had multiple people, but then you only showed your sister.
Okay.
And it's like, I mean, it's your sister. I mean, I'm just trying to be fair to, but like, can you understand my perspective where I'm trying to be fair? Like, I was fair to you, and I saw that you vindicated yourself from all these girls falsely accusing you. But now I'm trying to be fair to the other guy when you potentially could be falsely accusing him when you don't have all the facts and you're openly calling him a pedophile. You're potentially doing the same thing that the girls did to you.
Do you not think he could be lying to you or manipulating you?
How would he need to manipulate him? Saying no is
very well could be the reality. But I'm not going off of someone's word. That's the difference. That's the difference here. You're going off of someone's word. I'm not. I'm saying, hey, let's look at evidence before we call someone a fucking pedophile and dox his name and where he works on my fucking huge platform. That's not what I'm doing. That's what you're doing.
True. You cannot dox someone's name.
Oh my God,
his name was already publicly available.
I'm curious how you got that information. I'm curious how you got that information. We'll get to that in a second. But if I have like a LinkedIn account for like work and it shows my full name, and if it's not associated with my YouTube name, just because you can kind of find that information online because I put it on there, just because you can find it online doesn't mean that it's still not technically could be considered as a dox and releasing private information. Like it's still like I think it's releasing private information if you draw the association between Magnetar and his full name. Do you see what I mean?
I mean, I don't really care about that as much as I care about this guy going off saying he's a pedophile because he messaged a 15-year-old at apparently 18.
I think we can do like this kind of gymnastics with anything. The fact of the matter is his name was publicly available.
Why does Mama Max talk to people? He obviously is fucking dumb as shit and has no idea how to defend himself or his points. So then why the fuck is he even bothering? I mean, optically, he should understand that.
PRNKS
looks like an idiot right now. No way.
Time in stream.
Oh, I bet, dude.
Papa Gut made me the based and red-pilled person I am today.
Very good. Thank
Piece
you.
of cake.
Thank you so much. First time on the stream, my fucking ass. Your name looks familiar.
Publicly available?
And saying a name is not doxing.
Okay.
This is already after he posted my driver's license on his YouTube video and doxed me to Kiwi Farms.
Okay.
And
well, if you're accusing him of being a pedophile, I wouldn't do that at all. I would just ignore you because you're obviously a fucking moron, but whatever.
And all I wanted to do was share the
are you saying that
information that someone sent to me was that he sent a dick pic to a minor.
Okay,
that is
when
what
you
okay. That doesn't. Okay, stop with the minor bullshit. Like, how old was she and how old was he? Like, this is one of the problems. People do this, and it's so intentional. When they call somebody a minor over and over and over again, and they don't say the age of the person who talked to them, like, you know that they're being disingenuous, and it's on purpose. That's the whole goal. The goal there is to be dishonest and disingenuous and give you as little information as possible. Okay, this guy's obviously not a fucking pedophile. What are you talking about?
When you have a platform, you can't just innocently share that he's a fucking pedophile. Like, you have a higher bar of responsibility. You've got to understand that. Because you're telling a million people that Anthony Field is a fucking pedophile. And you have one testimony to back it up.
No, he's not. Clear. I mean, honestly, he's obviously not.
Yes, but your one piece of evidence is one girl saying so. And I'm trying to explain to you how it's fucking so ironic for you to make a video.
I am simply sharing
You're
that
making a
to
video.
show
You're
why
making a
this
video.
person-
You're making a video defending yourself from false accusations of people falsely accusing you, and then you can't have the same empathy towards someone else.
This dog sucks.
Not to someone who is a pedophile. No.
Okay. Well, you okay?
Lyrics, can I ask one
Let's
thing?
just take a back step here, Max. Do you understand my perspective? Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Mark, ask your question.
No, that's okay. He can go ahead.
Yes. Lyrics, I understand where you're coming from. You think that you're saying I'm doing the same thing that my exes were doing. Like just showing like, a screenshot or something and saying, okay, yeah, this person's a predator, right?
Yes.
That is your argument.
Yes. Yeah, and
Yes, I understand that.
And do you understand how that same thing could be applied to your case, where you just got off the back of defending yourself from false allegations, and then it seems like you're doing the same thing to someone else? Like, I'm sure the girls probably thought they were justified, or Magnetar thought he was justified in accusing you, just how this apparently 15, 16-year-old girl felt justified in accusing Magnetar.
So you don't think it's relevant to show that the person who made this video has a girl telling me he sent her a dick pic when she was 14 and he was 18 or 19 and also working in the White House?
What? I thought she was 15. Why are we all over the place? By the way, that's not pedophilia regardless. Just to be clear. Doesn't mean it's not wrong, but it's not even pedophilia. Like, use the word pedophile correctly. I mean, like, use the DSM-5 version of it. You know, you don't have to be a pedophile to be a predator. If he's sending a 14-year-old his dick pic at 19, that's still wrong, right? But it sounds more like she was 15 and 18, because this guy's just, I think that he knows that he's in the wrong here. He's sensationalizing it on purpose. But he's using the term pedophile just so that he can overload this as much as possible. What the fuck is he talking about, though?
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
I'm listening to what you're
okay,
saying,
okay,
Lyrics. You're
okay,
not
sorry.
listening to what I'm saying.
Okay, sorry.
I am
I'll
telling you-
directly respond. So the reason I think it's relevant, the reason I don't think it's relevant to bring up, is because if it's real, then
Is he working at the White House at 18? Dude, I have no fucking idea what's even happening. This whole thing seems so stupid. Mama Max just seems like the kind of person who calls people pedophiles when he doesn't like them. That's all it really boils down to.
I think it's very relevant to.
If he's going around calling this guy a pedophile, then like, what? How am I supposed to believe that this other person that he's supposedly trying to go after, the vampire survivor, is also a pedophile?
Bring up. Like, I think you should absolutely air that out if you have concrete evidence, 100%. But
You don't.
That's
where we
totally
disagree is that you don't have 100% evidence, and that you just have the testimony of the girl. And I think that's unfair to use your 750k sub platform and to and say on a 1 million view video that this guy is a pedophile with just one girl's testimony. And I think it's very ironic considering that the girls just did that to you.
Okay.
I see what you're trying to get at, Lyrics. I understand what you're saying. You're saying, yes, after this whole video, I am now just doing what my exes did and just presenting a testimony with no proof, right?
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but you don't think it's pertinent to let people know that there is this testimony?
God, this guy's so annoying.
Do you think it was important for your
That's
exes to know
faster.
that you potentially are an abuser and a raper who would go into bed and wake your girl up by sexually assaulting her? Do you think it was valuable for them to release that to the public too?
Sorry, repeat that one more time.
Do you think it was valuable for your exes to release their stories about you, about how you're potentially an abuser and sexual assaulter?
Do I think it was valuable?
Yes, I'm repeating the same thing you just repeated back to me.
What do you mean by valuable?
Oh my god, dude! I'm gonna literally cut my scrotum open right now. This is insane.
That's literally what didn't you just say that to me?
Yeah, you said that there's value in showing this communication or this information so that you can educate people on what kind of person this person is. That was basically what he's trying to get at there.
Didn't you just say
valuable?
Didn't you just say it was valuable? I mean, I feel like I literally just repeated the same thing back.
This guy just playing dumb for just so he doesn't have to respond. Like, what's happening here?
Back at you that you repeated to me. I'm drawing the connection. In case, like, you can tell. I'm drawing the connection between what you said to me and what happened to you.
I don't remember saying valuable.
Okay,
my
you're
God,
getting caught up on a word. You get my point, don't you?
This is fucking.
Pertinence.
Yes,
That's what you said.
Pertinence.
Pertinence.
I've gotten your point this whole time.
Okay, so I'm drawing the comparison. So do you think it was pertinent? I'll use that word instead of valuable. Do you think it's pertinent for your exes
You enjoy the brain rot? Yeah, fair enough.
to release their stories about how you're potentially an abuser? Maybe they wanted to warn future
Wait, what? What's the word abuser mean? What is he gonna say
victims.
next?
Remember, that's what they were saying about you. They wanted to warn future victims about you so that you don't do this to other girls. They felt it was very pertinent to get that information out online. Just how you feel, it's very pertinent to release the information about Magnetar. They're both the same.
So the whole way my exes made that video was because I broke up with one of them.
Okay.
And they all had like a group chat where they're like almost cyber stalking me and reaching out to each other and trying to come up with ways to cancel me because the previous ways they tried did not work.
Okay. This guy's a fucking creep,
but-
dude.
I still feel it was relevant to show that since this is what they're doing to me, here's a testimony by someone who has something against the person who made this video.
Okay. We're gonna move on after this because I feel like we're just going in circles. But I'm like directly saying that it's one and the same. That you are, you have accusations against this person with their testimony, and that also they have their accusations of their testimony against you. And after you just acknowledged for an hour long in your video on how this is false, I then feel like you did the same thing against someone else because you didn't have any evidence either. You just
Correct.
You just
You don't feel that
you
was
just carelessly let out an allegation that someone's a pedophile without concrete evidence, and I think that's incredibly irresponsible.
I think any survivor can speak up even if they don't have evidence.
So do you hold that same standard for your exes?
They did. They did speak out against me without any evidence.
Yeah, but you saw how it directly was a detriment to your life.
What?
He's so dumb. There's no way that this guy's this fucking stupid. Holy shit.
It was a detriment to your life.
I mean,
that they came out against you, correct? So you can obviously see the problem
It's very basic. All he's trying to communicate is that like you're saying you're innocent, but your exes came out and said that you were a bad person. So why do you feel like you should be doing the same thing with other people if they don't have any evidence? It doesn't make any sense. It's really bizarre. You'd think you'd be more sensitive to false accusations by personally experiencing it by your own logic. False accusations. This is so basic. Holy fuck.
And you literally were the victim of that. So I'm just curious on how you can't show that same empathy to someone else, and then do the same thing to someone else.
You don't see, like, that's why I did that, was to show this is exactly.
I could see why MamaMax should really just stick to video essays, because he can't have a conversation for his fucking life. He can't put like pieces together. Like he can't have like a fucking intelligible thought for 2.5 fucking seconds. This is insane. Why are you bothering to even have conversations with people? Holy shit.
What happened to me? Like, to me, that was a poetic ending. Is that this guy who put all my exes together literally has a testimony against him, and not only by one person, it's supported by multiple people, and there are now news.
The testimony of 15 and 18. Yeah, I'm really shitting my fucking pants on that one.
Stories coming about.
Yeah, there's also multiple.
Sneaking.
Whoa, there's also
like, I mean, if anything, if we got 15 and 18, what does it sound more like to me that MamaMax went to this person and was like, "Oh my god, you might be fucking. You were a grooming victim. You're that person's a pedophile. You're traumatized. You're this. You're that." That's more likely that you have opportunistic individuals like MamaMax whose content is like solely based on exposing pedophiles, which we can't even confirm because his credibility is completely dead, according to me at this point. And like, of course, like, who's to say that he's not just trying to create more cases of predatory acts so that he can make YouTube content? Because that makes more sense to me, that he found some vulnerable girl that might have felt upset by something and decided to sensationalize her trauma and make it worse in her own head. Because when you're in some of these moments that you're vulnerable, you're much more malleable and people can manipulate you better. And then that he went on there, he manipulated this girl into thinking that like what happened to her was like this horrific, predatory, like, terrible act, and gassed her up to put her on camera and make her go like, "Oh my god, I'm a fucking victim." Like, that's more likely to me, dude. What the fuck's going on here?
So multiple people coming out against you.
He was sneaking into his high school as an adult, eating lunch with freshmen.
But you're
what? He was sneaking into his high school as an adult? What does that mean? Was he? What does that mean? Wait, so what is he, like 1 year out and he decided to go into the high school and like hang out with his friends that might have been 1 year younger than him and eat lunch? I don't care. Who cares about that? I've never done that before, but if that's what, I'm assuming that's what it was. Are you trying to say he's trying to rape kids? What is happening here? What are you talking about, dude?
You're trying to use other people, that there was multiple people coming out against Magnetar to try to bolster your argument, but there were many more people who came out against you. So I just don't understand why you're
evidence.
I just don't understand. Did you have evidence? Wait, what was your evidence?
On them, I provided the evidence.
Wait, what was your evidence against Magnetar?
Same thing as Magnetar's, a first-hand
Max,
account.
what was Max?
Yeah,
Max?
literally
A first-hand account's not evidence. That's an accusation. What are you talking about?
I'm literally doing what they did. Like, you're just.
I know, that's my whole critique of you. You're doing the same thing that someone else did to you, and you paid the price of it.
So you don't understand why I ended the video that way? You don't see.
What?
I'm so confused.
You don't see the poetry in that.
Can I please say something?
The poetry? What the fuck is what is up with this guy in poetry? The poetry? Why does it need to be poetic? We're talking about child abuse potentially. Why does it need to have a poetic ending? Why even looking through it in that lens is bizarre to me. What is this, Game of Thrones?
Go for it.
Yes, Max believes in freedom of speech. Like, he believes that people should be able to fucking say.
Who's this guy? Oh, of course. Actually, Matt, what is this? How old is MamaMax? Max age. This dude's 27 years old and he has like a fucking 18-year-old like talking for him. What's happening right now? What are you doing?
What they went through, and then somebody else should be able to respond, right?
Okay.
And making an accusation on someone with a first-hand testimony, if that's all you have, but is it still worth telling?
So is that?
So I'm going to assume, I didn't watch the video. I'm going to assume that it wasn't like a, "Hey guys, this person has this accusation. You should hear it." It was like, "Hey guys, this person made an accusation, and I 100% believe it, and he's a pedophile." Because he's saying as much in this conversation. So there's a difference between an accusation versus like overly affirming an accusation that's not proven. And by the way, it's disproven by MamaMax's own account because 18 and 15 is not pedophilia in any capacity. So what are we talking about here?
Is that Max's claim? I'm trying to explain how no, that's what I'm trying to explain. That setting that standard is incredibly irresponsible, where we just have this world where now we're just calling people pedophiles because of one person's accusation with no evidence, and people take that and run with it. I think
the evidence is clear. He's not a pedophile. Based on what they're saying.
That's incredibly irresponsible for the world that we live in. What do you mean?
It's scary to think that accusations can have such a devastating weight, and I agree. Can I just ask you one question that's like a direct question to you?
Holy fuck.
Do you have any family members, like siblings, sisters, brothers, or whatever?
Yes.
Do you have a sister? Like,
do you want your sister to be raped? Because that's basically what's the line of questioning? Where is this possibly going to lead to? What intelligible area could this possibly get to?
imagine if your little sister, I don't know if you have one, but like imagine if your little sister
Okay.
said, "Hey, dude, this dude sent me a dick pic. This dude who made a video on you, conveniently, this dude who made a video on you exposing what a piece of shit you are, sent me
Is it his sister that said that? Is his sister the one that he's talking about?
dick pics." And then you said, "Do you have any proof?" And they're like, "Well, I have the dick pic." And you just have this firsthand testimony. Is that not worth at least mentioning or saying something about?
Is this MamaMax's sister? I'm so confused about the pathway that we're going on.
Like, or are you just gonna literally keep your lip shut and just be like, "Yeah, that's just gonna."
Why the fuck would I make a YouTube video? Why the fuck would I make
YouTube videos? You stream.
Listen,
why the fuck would you not say that?
I'm gonna respond. Why the fuck would I make a YouTube video about my little sister getting sent a dick pic from like an older man? Like that's incredibly irresponsible.
He's actually 1,000% correct. He's actually right about that. Like, why would you do that? That seems like a massive like boundary break. Wouldn't you call the cops? Yeah, it's 100% correct. It's a weird that would even be a first thought. Like, yeah, you call the cops.
I don't care. Man had made a video on you exposing.
Yes, what I'm trying to explain is that even though it might be very personal to me, and behind the scenes I can believe my little sister and be a good sis and be a good brother to her, I still think that no way in hell do I fucking publicly say on my YouTube channel that I should broadcast that someone's a pedophile with no evidence. Because
well, yeah, also it's something that would be embarrassing to your sister. Like, you probably wouldn't want to come forward and be like, "Hey guys, my sister got harassed by such and such." You know, that could be uncomfortable for that person. So
at that point, you have a higher responsibility than just being a good sibling to someone else or being a good friend. You have a higher responsibility to just straight up report the like factual statements. That's my take.
So you'd keep that part to yourself? The fact that the dude who made an exposed
no, you'd go to a fucking police officer, idiot. Like,
video on you is literally sent dick pics to your little sister.
Yes, because that's what having integrity is about. Only
no, you go to the police. Why isn't that a factor? Go to the fucking police, dude.
Stuff that you know you can prove.
He literally said that in the video, though. He's like, this is just this message that this is all the proof I have. And he was very forthright about like, this is all the proof that there is. So, I mean, like, what else do you want? Like,
what do you, I actually don't even know what you're talking about right now.
In the video where Max talked about how Anthony, the guy who conveniently got all his exes together, was sending dick pics to girls while he was in the White House who were under 16 in high school. He says, by the way, guys, I don't have
so he was 18 sending to people under 16. Like, what? The language is so intentional. It's at this point like, you know that they know what they're saying. It's so fucking intentional. Holy shit. What the fuck?
This is the only proof that I have, so take it with a grain of salt. He says that in the video.
No, he does not say take it with a grain of salt. I just watched it. He directly says.
But you get what I'm saying.
Well, you're lying, apparently. So.
I mean, saying take it with a grain of salt actually is a very important disclaimer that MamaMax didn't give. MamaMax directly said that he is a pedophile and he doesn't have enough evidence to report to the police. So, I mean...
Oh. So then why? Okay. So first, just to be clear, he has enough evidence to report it to the police. You always have enough evidence to report something to the police. It doesn't mean that they're going to do anything with it. So, like, what does that mean? Does that mean that he just decided not to bring it to the police? That's weird to me. Because if you had evidence of this, because even like sending a dick pic at 18 to like a 16-year-old is still technically illegal. You can talk about the morality of that. If it's fine for a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old to actually have sex, but the dick pic is illegal, that is like a little bizarre. But you can go to the police with any of that, and then if they decide not to push further with an investigation, then cool, you got your answer there. But like, you have enough evidence to go to the police. Like, you can go to the police with anything. What is he talking about? Did he even try, or was he trying to save this for content? Because it's more about making content.
I found it as like an incredibly funny and ironic statement that you're still going to publicly say this guy's full name and label him as a pedophile, and yet you don't even have enough evidence to fucking like report him to the police. Like, that's like so comical.
Yeah, that is comical.
Well, maybe you should tell your friend Anthony that, because that's exactly what he fucking did. He fucking reported Max to the police, and all he has is
we're getting so sidetracked. We're getting so sidetracked. Let's.
Okay.
I mean, this is all part of the same conversation. What Anthony did to me, doxing me both the Kiwi Farms and on his video, is far worse than what I did to him in terms of like responsibility.
Okay.
And he is actually a pedophile. So.
Well, we don't know that. Based on what you're telling us, he's not a pedophile.
And I mean, we're just repeating ourselves. I think we've gotten enough on this topic. So next, I want to bring up. I was going to ask a question for Spencer if there's any other allegations she had against Magnetar, because I saw what happened earlier on how she said that he was coming back to high school saying that he was flirting with fucking freshmen. So I was curious if there's any other information she would want to give.
Sure.
And also,
is that okay? That's different than what we just heard before. That he just went to the high school and was like sitting at the lunch table with his old friends. Okay.
Said that as well in the same stream that he's still a pedophile and everything. But I guess you double down on that anyway.
I mean, if that's true, he's a fucking weirdo. Like, yeah, someone should, but he's not a pedophile. What?
But you said also Magnetar was spamming the FBI to report MamaMax for violence on pedos.
Correct.
What?
Did he deny that?
Yes.
What does that mean?
What? I'm pretty sure
What does that mean?
I actually have screenshots of that. So
Of what?
I'll send those whenever I find them.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's not much of an important thing because I heard about this guy like called Simpleton who said he was the one who filed tips against you. So I was just curious how you can confirm it's Magnetar. Who's the one specifically?
Okay.
Who got you?
I saw him tweeting at them on his Twitter.
Okay. I guess he just denies that, but
I mean, it seems he's denying everything because that him being a pedophile is not good for his public image.
I guess so. And just like to finish up that last point with the accusations towards Magnetar, I just feel like you have a very bigger standard of proof. I mean, you have a very much lower standard of proof to accuse Magnetar of being a pedophile versus the girls, you know, that were accusing you. Like your standard of evidence is only different when it applies to you.
Well, no. So they did not present any evidence, and I didn't. I presented evidence, even though the burden of proof was on them. I didn't make the argument about where's the evidence.
Hold on. So
where's the evidence?
I want to move on, but you provided evidence that was some girl's testimony, and 4 girls, if not 5, came out with their testimony against you. So by your own definition of evidence, they would have more evidence against you.
Well, what I'm saying is the burden of proof is on them, and they didn't provide any. I had to provide it just to protect myself and to show what they were doing.
So if you hold that standard that the burden of proof,
we're going in circles here.
Well, like if you hold one last, if you hold that same standard that the burden of proof was on the girls to prove that you were in fact a predator or abuser, then you would hold that same standard that the burden of proof is on you now to prove that Magnetar is a pedophile. But
correct, and that is why I say I do not have evidence. This is
That's why I say. First of all, wait, what, dude? First of all, he keeps saying he does have evidence. Second of all, now you're just admitting you have no evidence. What the fuck is happening here?
just a testimony.
What?
Oh, I guess so. Now you're backtracking it. But
you just said it was evidence because you have a picture. What is he talking about? This guy, dude. Why does anybody care about this guy? This is insane.
Still confidently say that he's a pedophile.
I mean, there's like I understand people getting stuff wrong, but at this point, this guy knows what he's doing is wrong, and he's moving forward with no evidence. It's constantly he's being very manipulative in his language when he says like, oh, minor adult kind of a thing. Oh, she was like 14, maybe 15, and he was like 18 or 19. You wouldn't be saying or if you knew definitively, and since you're the one leading this fucking crusade against this guy claiming that he's a pedo, you should know that. So like, why aren't what the fuck?
Pedophile.
How am I backtracking what?
Well, you still say he's a pedophile, but then now you're saying like you don't have enough evidence to prove he's a pedophile. I'm just confused with what you mean there.
I am saying that the testimony is not evidence. I acknowledge that it is not evidence.
God.
Oh, I swear you were literally just referring it to as evidence just like 5 minutes ago.
He was, yeah.
No.
Yes.
That's what he's saying. He knows this girl. He's seen the dick pic, and like he doesn't know what else to tell you unless you want the dick pic yourself.
Yeah, good one. Be sure to send that in to me. But okay. Moving on to the next question though, because I think we got the conclusion there. Is the police involved now with this Camden Gerard Davis case?
I mean, they've been involved from the beginning. Well,
so then why are you making content about it?
Involved is an exaggeration, but we are involving them now. Yes.
Now? I thought that why wouldn't you involve them from the start? What the fuck are YouTubers going to do that the police wouldn't be able to do 1,000 times better?
And I saw this YouTube short of you talking about how you found the location of Camden, or am I wrong? I could be wrong there.
That is correct.
Why aren't you just leaving it to the police? What are you doing? This is so irresponsible. This could potentially hurt your claim, if anything. Why would you even do this?
You did find the location of Camden.
Correct.
And how did you find that information?
Classified.
Great.
Classified.
This guy's a real fucking
yes.
spy. You probably stalked him or something.
What do you mean?
Why would I tell you that information in a public setting?
How you found information about where he lives? Does that have to do with you directing your chat to find information?
What?
Well, because you asked your chat in a previous live stream to find out information about the whereabouts of Camden Gerard Davis, and then soon after you release a YouTube short saying that you found the location. So that's the obvious connection I'm drawing there. Is that
you're saying because I made videos wanting people to find him, that is how we found him?
He's asking you if that's how you found him because of that. It's a reasonable question.
Yeah, I'm asking if it was through you directing your fans in your live stream, if that's how you found the whereabouts of where he is. That's what.
Oh, that was the intent, but that is not how we found him.
Okay, and you're not going to disclose how you found him.
Correct. Not in this public setting.
All right.
Okay.
Well, back.
You tell him privately, like I don't know.
Into your response video, I just have a quick question about the way you responded to Olivia, if that's all right. So, in Olivia's story, in your response that you gave, you did link the whole call, the 31 minutes of your conversation with Olivia, yet you only included about like maybe 30 seconds to a minute of that call in your response to the allegations. And that 30 seconds to a minute painted a much different picture than what actually that call was. And like, I think you purposely were clip chimping that out of context to try to paint a narrative about her. So, do you think I could screen share with you to go over these clips and then juxtapose?
Do you have Olivia's permission to be talking about her?
Dude, this guy's such a cock. Holy fuck, he's so full of shit. Do you have permission to talk about her? You decided to involve her as a public figure and made a video about her. And what are you talking about? This guy, bro. This guy's a literal buzzword machine. Do you have her permission to talk about her? Weren't you on like a fucking multiple hour live stream talking to her? What do you mean? Why would you need permission? She gave you permission when you decided to go about that direction. What the fuck is he talking? Dude, this guy's not even worth talking to or about. What the fuck?
Do I have a person's permission to talk about another person?
I am respecting the privacy of my exes. Do you have her permission to
Wait, what?
talk about her?
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about somebody else. But either way, this person made a video. Wait, what?
No, I don't have permission to talk about another person. Are you joking? It's a public video. You know that, right? It's fine if you don't want to talk about it and you just want to say, like, no.
Well, yeah, he clearly doesn't want to talk about it. He just wants to make it seem like he's a good guy. But, like, what the? This guy's confusing the shit out of me.
Comment. But, I mean, that's pretty, I find that pretty ridiculous. To try to say I can't talk about someone.
Well, he's not saying you can't talk about it. He's just using it as an excuse because he's a fucking loser.
I just got kicked from the call. I just got kicked from the call.
Okay, incredible.
What?
All right.
Get Keemstar in here. I want to talk. I've never talked to
What?
Keemstar before.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that conversation whatsoever. There's nothing will ever be productive.
He fucking kicked me. He fucking kicked me. So fucking mad.
Providing personally identifiable
He's
information
mauling.
about an individual organization.
Holy shit, this is embarrassing.
Full names do not count as PII. Do full names count as PII?
This is just embarrassing.
You know.
They bring him back in. Matt kicks me again. Okay, kicked him again. I guess he came back in. Don't care. Let's see what Mudahar has to say. There's not much else to this call that I really care about.
Mudahar's in,
Hey,
shut up.
man, how's it going? I don't know everyone here but Max, but how's it all going? How's your guys' night? So you
It's
guys
going horrible for them.
Yes, sir. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So last time we talked, Max, I thought you had a video about this coming out,
Oh.
a concise documentary.
Oh no.
A timeline, a comprehensive timeline. We released a short saying that as things have evolved, it's taking longer. Like I told you, more survivors and witnesses are coming forward and joining.
He's mad
That's
already.
what's causing the delay.
Thought it was like a legal notice or something.
A
You guys are getting like legal and everything involved already, right? Like
Correct.
lawyers and-
We've already spoken with a lawyer. They suggested we don't even pursue him civilly just because if he doesn't have substantial assets, there's no point in the civil suit. So he recommended that we all go
Why would Mama Max pursue it at all?
in person to file a police report, and that will make them take us the most seriously because
So did you do that?
we've tried phone calls and
Phone calls to the law enforcement?
Yeah.
yes.
We recently
Okay.
called Baldwin County Sheriff's Department, and I spoke to a sheriff's deputy and, even asked for an email so I could send them what evidence we do have, and
They weren't interested in even looking at it.
he was like, oh, well, it didn't happen in our jurisdiction, so we can't do anything, even though we...
So wouldn't you find the correct jurisdiction to find?
He resides in their jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Oh, so then wouldn't you go to the place that the jurisdiction or contact the jurisdiction that you could go through?
I thought you guys had like the feds or something involved too. I don't know.
Chuck became a member.
Hey, thank you so much for the membership, brother. Oh, there's a bunch of re-ups memberships. Thank you so much, guys. Why wouldn't you go to the proper channel? I'm so confused.
A minute since we've covered this whole thing, but
It's funny because it seems like Mudahar is under the impression that this was being done much more professionally and in a way that could actually, cause somebody to get arrested if they were a predator. And it seems like Mama Max may have misguided him in this instance.
this has been...
He's so fed up.
Like, I heard a bit of the lyric stuff at the end of it, and you guys were discussing the whole concept of doxing and everything and all this stuff. And it was just like a matter of... This whole story, it hasn't really properly been told yet to the mass public, you know what I mean?
Yes,
This is gonna be bad.
Which like, and that's the big problem, right? It's like, for people to come in here and like... The thing is, it's like, you're accusing somebody of really serious situations, right? Like this guy of really serious crimes. And I know that you believe you're in the right, and from a personal perspective, I know that you feel you have the evidence and you feel like you know what you're doing is the right thing. But the thing about it is, like, if you want people to take this as seriously as you guys are taking it, you need to start providing that evidence to the public and provide, like, an actual story, Like, I've seen the evidence that you posted, and obviously there's an NDA signed, so I can't publicly discuss this with anyone.
Dude,
but I can say, obviously...
He's saying the same shit I
like,
said.
it contains,
Watch Mama Max just say,
one
like,
side of the
that's a good
events,
point, I'll
and
think about that.
obviously, my thing on screenshots is that unless I refresh something from a server myself, I never usually believe it or jump on the gun. Recently I covered, scam situation where
Because
I had to pretty much
I have 50K
dot my
subs.
I's and cross my T's
Mudahar is 2
before I
million.
could even make
You can't write him off.
accusations, right? And obviously with a situation like this, look, I know that you know that there is something amiss here, right? Like with this Camden individual, I know you know, right? Like I know you from a personal level. I know that you believe this, and you're not doing this out of, I would say, malice. But I hope you understand that the way that this whole situation has been presented has actually...
Well, to me, it seems like he'll not out of malice or out of like being opportunistic. This is the problem when you make content about something. Just fundamentally, you're going to want to keep making content about that thing. I know it sounds so stupid and basic, but what happens is like, let's say you make a Lego building content. People like it a lot, so you go and do more Lego building content. So what do? You go buy more Legos and you go make more content, right? Maybe you even buy bigger Legos, more extreme Legos, more expensive Legos, right? Maybe even smash them afterwards. when you make content about predatory individuals, you're constantly searching for them. And if you can't find them, then you possibly will make them. And this is possibly one of those situations. So instead of operating with the primary aspect being like catching somebody who could potentially be very dangerous, it seems like we're operating with like, oh, let me try to make some content out of this. It's just super dangerous. Like, what the fuck?
Really hurt this case, unfortunately, because from the public perspective, it's like people have been sitting here for months now waiting for a definitive, you know, not timeline, but like a definitive proof on this individual, and it's all just been a mess being presented. And I think it actually hurts the victims in the situation more than it actually is assisting them at this point.
And he has the
you know,
victim
last
right
time we had a
behind him as he's
conversation
saying
weeks
this.
ago, me, you, and Nux,
This is
discussions,
humiliating.
like, you gotta not do the streams, you gotta bunker down, get this entire video out, and the moment you present this individual in the light that the moment you present the story in a way that everyone can follow, victims will just naturally pour in. You know, this isn't a situation where we got to sit down and wait for everyone to join together like a class action lawsuit. All this is doing is it's jumbling up the story, and it's making people question you, and it's ultimately hurting the entire victims at the end of the day, which I don't want to see happen. You don't want to see happen. This story needs to be presented properly, and that's it at the end of the day. You know, it's been over a month. It's been 2 months now, and it's just been a jumbled story. Like, most of the people that are talking about this outside of this circle specifically, they don't even know Camden. They just have heard Black Vampire guy, but they don't know the real extent of what this person's done. They don't know they don't know anything about this cult. I still don't even know everything about this cult. We have no explanation of how this cult operates, how it gathers victims, and what it does, its entire procedures and whatnot. Presenting this ringleader and how it works, and how children are brought into the situation, and how they're turned into these really, really dark fucking situations. That needs to be properly explained. I really feel like that has to be the thing. You know, if I was in your shoes and this was my story, what I would do is I would present this cult, I would present Camden, and I would tell people, hey, listen, this is a guy that's done some really, really fucked up things, and we've got a few victims, and if you know this person...
Well, it seems like he's continuously talking about it, so to an extent, I mean, I guess you would argue that he's possibly milking it a little bit.
Please come in. That kind of a video spreads naturally. I covered something not similar to this, but I covered another really bad guy years ago with a YouTuber known as Kavos about the Club Penguin situation. That was a scenario where we sat down, we grabbed evidence, and we presented a story. I made an hour-long video where it definitively went through the beginning, middle, and end, and it showcased how fucked up this individual was, and that reached out to people. Like, this is something that we kind of fucking need to see with this situation. Right now, we only know about the theatrics and the arguments around the situation. We don't know the cult. We don't even know everything about Camden, and you know, we just have one account of the information. You know, all this is doing is hurting the story. It's hurting the victims.
And he has a pattern of this.
It's going to actually hurt a legal case. Law enforcement agencies, look, I get it. The law enforcement system fucking sucks a lot of times. Okay, I get it. It sucks ass. But you
still need to operate down that pathway if you want to get actual justice, because an internet exposing this situation is really not going to mean anything. It's not going to stop anything from happening. All they have to do is not care about the internet. So, like, whoever's getting accused, like, yeah, you want to go through a legal pathway to the best of your abilities.
Why they're
and if you feel like the legal pathway is not going to work, then you need to convince the public that, like, no, this is still worth pursuing, even though the police officers don't think it is. So
they're indifferent and they don't give a shit is because they don't have a story to also piece together. They don't know what to go into. You know, they have a million cases to deal with. If you bring them Black Vampire cultist, they're going to sit down and think, okay, where the fuck do we begin? You know. And that's ultimately the situation. Look, I want to see this asshole fucking. If what you're saying is 100% true, I want to see this motherfucker behind bars.
What happened to Muhar's the evidence? That's what he just said to me earlier.
There's a way to handle this before you get to that point.
PMMD.
Right?
Well, I think he saw some like information that could direct into that could be, you know, implicate this guy's a bad guy, but nothing like explicit enough, I guess.
That's like where everything needs to be said.
My TMMD in the chat, guys.
No, don't forget it.
No, not in.
Oh, in my chat. In my chat. Shut up.
I would have really appreciated this like 2 months ago when we first reached out.
Oh, he's mad.
Bro, it's a really, I think it's probably one of the hardest sells to try to criticize Mutahar in this. It's tough because I don't know. I think it's hard to think of another YouTuber with as good of a credibility and, like, you know, responsibility to try to move in the right direction when it comes to exposing people. So you really, it's a hard sell. I would have appreciated if you said this 2 months ago. There's no fucking way. Nothing he said was like a super hot take. It's all like, hey, you should operate in a way that gets the guy arrested if he's a bad guy, not making it a public fucking spectacle. That's what I basically heard. Where you're really vague. But okay, I guess it's Mutahar's fault for not guiding him in the right direction.
I reached out to you and multiple other creators asking for help, and none of you were responsive. I understand y'all are busy.
This is his pill stream.
But this is the first time I've ever handled a case of this complexity and magnitude, and that is why I was asking for help.
But Max, me and Nux told you about this weeks ago, almost a month at this point. Exactly what I just said right now.
Right, and I am working at my platform is for the survivors. And if they want to stream, that is what we're going to do. We're going to stream.
Why? Why? That's incredibly irresponsible. So I don't know the relationship that these individuals have, these alleged survivors have with what was going on. But just because they might want to stream this doesn't mean that that's responsible to do. I mean, you're a public content creator. You should know how these things go at this point. You should know how, you know, speculative people can be on information, especially when it's not fully parsed through and released properly. Why would you even want to expose them to the potential of getting harassed over like a situation like this? Like, why is it like, well, they want to stream, I'm going to stream with them. Like, why? Why can't you just say, no, that's a bad idea? And why are you blaming it on them? You're blaming it on them. It's like, it's your shield. Well, they want to stream. Who gives a fuck if they wanted to stream? What does that matter? What the fuck?
I'm giving them my platform. And because
okay.
This is going to be so interesting.
Okay.
It takes me like almost a year to make a video about even just one pedophile. Like,
right.
Okay.
Like
what's your point?
I was looking for help so that
I don't know. That's a little bit of a weird statement to make. Hold on.
It takes me like almost a year to make a video about even just one pedophile. Like,
what does that matter? What does it implicate? Like, what are you trying to say with that? Are you trying to say that you need to make some money or something? Or are you just venting a frustration? You could do other content too. Like, you could make a Mama Speaks where you just come on stream a couple times a week and you just kind of fuck around and react to TikToks and just have some fun with your fans. If you needed like an alternative pathway or like a venting sphere, like you should know that. You don't have to make all of it about that. You'd be like, hey guys, this is literally all you have to do. Hey guys, you know, it takes me a long time to get videos out and I need to be able to sustain an income to do what I'm passionate about. So I'm going to start streaming a couple times a week on YouTube, where I'm just going to do some like fun, low effort, like reaction content where I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to watch some TikToks and we're going to have fun on stream and it's going to be cool. Why don't you just do that? Something like that. Like, I'm sure that would go well. He's got quite a few followers, right? I'm pretty sure he's got like close to 1 million. Am I wrong about that? What would have hurt? Instead, he went this weird path of removing half of his videos. He's got 753,000. Instead, he's trying to monetize somebody's potential abuse. And like, let's say this really did happen and these are actual trauma victims. Like, you realize that airing this out could just create more trauma, right? Like, you have to understand from a mental health perspective, like doing it like this, making them like the central or focal point of this could be really bad for their mental health. So why wouldn't you want to just deal with this privately? Just for them, for the protection of the people that you are supposedly trying to protect. Like,
right.
Like I was looking for help so that someone could talk about this case in a way that, you know, like the way you talk about your videos, I would have liked you to help me on this and you know, just make even just a PSA saying, hey, there's this guy came to Gerard Davis.
Well, how is he going to do that if you haven't presented him enough information to feel comfortable doing that?
Please reach out if you are a survivor.
But there's no evidence, and that would be labeling him as a pedophile and doxing his
Okay, this is what we talked about though, like a month ago. It's like, if we're going to make a PSA and we're going to talk about it, we need to make sure the story
facts.
is. I'm not saying 100% bulletproof. I don't live in that world, right? Like, obviously, you can't have 100% evidence of something, but I'm saying very.
But you could have like 99% evidence.
Very, 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 very like fucking very ironclad almost, as close as you can fucking get, right? And we talked about this with a month ago. We were like, hey, listen, we got to make a story. We got to make an hour-long something video, whatever, in your style. Because if you want to provide your platform to the victims, your platform isn't built upon live streaming like this. Your platform is built upon hard-hitting videos that present the story, albeit in a, you know, very flashy way. But you have to present that story first, and then naturally the rest of YouTube and the rest of the internet community will come together and view your video and say, oh my god, I get this.
He's never streaming again
after
this.
Victims on your side. I can't sit there and say, let's make a PSA. There's this bad guy. Hey, come together. Let's go after him. Even look, what this sounds like, it's like a class action lawsuit, right? Like, hey, this person's done something wrong. Please come together. I mean, recently Logan Paul had that Crypto Zoo shit. I mean, not recently, but with Logan Paul's Crypto Zoo, if Attorney Tom came out and said, hey guys, this asshole scammed everyone, join our class action lawsuit, that's not going to be his video. His video is still going to go through beginning, middle, end and describe exactly why they're suing Logan Paul, what the scam was. They're going to describe this, and then they'll say, hey, listen, at the end of it, we're
seriously paying attention to Mood at the moment. She's going to walk away with doubts and maybe concerns.
You still have to present the story from beginning, middle, and end. Then you can ask for a PSA. Then you can get people in. And we talked about this a month ago, and that's all that you can. It still can be fixed, right? Like, all you can do is, like, again, hunker down, spend a week, 2 weeks, a month, honestly.
How often is this MamaMax guy hanging out with these like alleged survivors? I don't know, man. It rubs me the wrong way to be so close to them where you're doing live streams with them and stuff. Like, I totally understand investigating it, but I mean, in my opinion, you'd want to set a decent boundary. You wouldn't want to get too close to them, right? It just seems professional to me. And so for me, why are you getting so close to them? Why are you doing public live streams with them? How much are you talking to them outside of this? How much of it is like, how much of their life are you centralizing around this situation instead of like, hey, we're going to take care of this while you move on to be productive with your life? He lives with her? What? Wait, what? Who's this girl to him? He lives with this girl? Isn't this the Vampire Survivors girl? Sorry, that's the name of the game I'm playing, but that's pretty much the situation. He lives with her? That's fucking weird. Am I getting this story right? Like, this is the girl coming forward about how she was, pulled into some kind of a vampire sex cult. It seems weird. He housed her? He lives with her and knows her from childhood, went to the same high school. Okay, maybe that makes it a little bit less weird. All right. It's just something rubbing me the wrong way.
I mean, right now it's YouTube down season, really. All you have to do is craft this video from beginning, middle, and end, and I promise you, it'll attract attention. It'll grab victims that would never even have heard of your channel, and they will come together and they will join this case, and that's how you do it. That's the end goal here. That's the path to victory.
Sure, this is like a Jalen intervention stream.
Oh my god.
I agree with you.
Can I say something?
Yes.
No.
Please. Sorry, I know nobody. I just wanted to say one thing. Like, dude,
can I say something?
You are like the fucking master of taking a fucking really complex topic and like.
Dude, this guy's a tier 5 glazer. What the fuck's happening right
now? Now he's dicks up.
Mudahar, please have sex with me. I really.
This guy's a fucking retard. No, Mudahar, shut this shit down.
Dude, you. Like,
hey! Don't use the bad words.
I love your videos.
Oh my!
I love your videos, Mudahar. I would love to suck your fucking cock, please.
I watch them all the time. I just wanted to say, like, Max is just a different kind of guy. Like, he makes like arts. He wants to make movies and shit, and like you can see that he's not like the master of like figuring out how to get this case.
Why is this guy glazing MamaMax so hard? Like he's fucking this up. If this is a real case, that's all there is to it.
He's out there and all of that, and like he's very aware of that. That's why he's saying like, please, anyone and everyone, just help me. Like, help me figure out how to tell the story the right way. And all that shit.
I don't think that Max is incapable of telling the story in the same way. I think Max, if you've got the evidence, you've got everything right there, you can still produce a story where you start off in your typical fashion and you tell people, hey, listen, we're going to talk about cults. We're going to talk about people that run cults, the psychology they go through. We go talk about Camden, and then we bring up victims, and that's all we have to do at the end of the day. You can present it in your style, but again, it's just you got to amalgamate all the evidence, and all you have to do is explain, again, in your style. You start the video off, you talk about...
I'm just saying the same things and waiting for Max to actually respond.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, even if this guy is a predator, which he might be, I don't really know. I mean, like, people, he kind of ruined the public scenario, because especially nowadays, like, listen... I think that we as a society are heavily recoiling from the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement was ultimately, overall, I would say, a good thing. It gave a lot of people the strength to come forward with their stories. Absolutely. But unfortunately, there have been a lot of people who have weaponized that and tried to like claim that different people were sexual predators. Right? And so all it takes is one or two false accusations for people to go, oh, this isn't real. And so now the burden is high. Which is a good thing. You need to, if somebody comes forward with something, you should be empathetic to them, and you shouldn't treat them like what they're saying is a lie, but you should also be careful not to completely go after the other person in a way where they must be guilty unless you have proof, right? That's how you deal with it. For the person making the accusation, take them seriously, listen to what they have to say, and then for the person that the accusation is against, be weary, but don't instantly assume everything is true from the other person. There's a lot of complicated things going on there. People that are in vulnerable emotional states can sometimes be manipulated into feeling different ways about things. There's a lot going on there, but people are very, they're skeptical. So you need to make sure that you do a very good job in the presentation of information.
What that retard came in.
You talk about then you talk about the victims, and that's it. And the thing about it is like, instead of making matter-of-fact statements like, I'm going to call this guy a pedophile or everything, it's like, what you have to do is you have to present the story, and you just tell the audience, like, hey, listen, I've given
and also, like, who's to say that he is a pedophile? Here's the thing. Like, from my understanding is that this girl was 16 when he pulled her into a vampire cult. That's not a pedophile. Why does he have to be a pedophile to be a potential predator? Cult leaders don't, like, it's like this weird thing on the internet where people use that word, like calling somebody a pedo or a groomer, as like the de facto, like, this guy's a bad guy. You can be a predatory person without doing those things. You're still a bad piece of shit. So I don't understand why you instantly jump to that conclusion. Like, people know just intuitively, like, that, like, somebody talking to a 16-year-old is not pedophilia. Doesn't make it right or okay, and you could absolutely manipulate or even groom a 16-year-old. But being unprofessional or unproductive or incorrect about your information, it's just not going to convey things properly. Like, you know, be accurate as to what's going on. If this guy's a cult leader, that in and of itself, like a real cult, is a dangerous, scary thing. You don't need this person to be a pedophile. You know, like
you everything. Now it's time for you to come to your own conclusion. And if there's somebody that recognizes this cult leader that I've talked about, please come forward, get in touch with us, because we have a legal action taking in. That's it. Like, right now, the public perception is they have no idea what this is. All they see is the fights that you're having with other people, and that's
True.
it. I want you to succeed in this mission. I want you to take this guy down. But sitting here and screaming about this isn't really going to help the situation. It's what you need is
Max isn't smashing Spencer tonight,
afterwards.
guys.
Once you got that video out and once
Jesus.
it's spreading around and reaching to victims, that's all that matters. You know?
Max, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
He's not gonna.
You said you
Oh
can't
my
present
God.
Evidence because the lawyer, right? The lawyer's
Twice in a row.
We are protecting the evidence until
These
law
retards keep
enforcement
fucking
has
Dude, shut up.
chiming
done
in.
something or shown that they're not going to do anything.
Like, no, it's a good thing to hold the evidence. So move on to a different video as well and do this one in the background. Like, hold on to the evidence and go through the correct legal channel and then talk about it when it isn't detrimental to your case. Because now at this point, you know, this other guy, if he sees the live streams, the one that was a supposed cult leader, what's stopping him from being like, look, they're just trying to engage in a targeted harassment campaign. This guy's wrong about ABCDXYZ. Like, it sounds to me like he's just done blah, blah, blah. Now he's having her live with him. It seems like, you know, this is just how I would argue as a lawyer for this other guy. And it's like, well, now he's having this girl live with him. You know, what's to say that she doesn't feel pressured to keep the story up and say whatever he wants to say about the narrative because she lives with him and now she's financially beheld to him in some capacity. These are the things that the lawyers are going to say to just poke so many holes into your case. Like, this is the problem. Like, so what you're opening it up to that, you know? So, you know, or you could say like, yeah, he's a big YouTuber. Maybe he's taking down other people, but he's apparently a close friend with this person that he's known since he's growing up. And then like, how much can his word be trusted? Because it might be. You see that this is the different ways that they're going to poke holes into it. Like whatever other lawyer there is that this other guy gets. So
that is why we're holding on to everything. And like I said, as this case has evolved, this video is getting longer and longer and more complex.
I think that's one of the
right now our priority has been to trying to find all of the survivors, which is why I want to make a PSA so we can have the full story in the first place. Because
it might have been because
right now we only have 8, and I know that's a lot of survivors, but we still only have 8.
Well, I mean, like if it's a potential survivor, potential victim, right, alleged, wouldn't you do this locally since this is something that's happened locally or something? Why wouldn't you make one video that's like a PSA? That's I don't know. Okay, I just don't know if I believe. Maybe he's trying to do that. I don't know. Maybe he's just ineffective. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing or something.
8 out of hundreds that were part of this. And
but you have enough to definitively paint this person as a predator, right?
How much are you looking for?
Let him answer.
Number or just
I'm spurging.
Where you're saying, okay, this is enough.
Now you're being a spag.
I am
Can
spurging.
I interject?
I'm doing
Yes.
a Bowlex.
Yep, please.
I think that right now, because
Is that Pokemon?
Because we did just get a survivor who got out.
He's calling the whole fucking gang.
9 months ago. I think that we have a pretty close timeline, and I think even if we only have 8
Oh, that's the girl.
survivors, that all of us
Oh, no, it's not the girl.
would make a fine documentary until, like, we can always make a second and third part. You know, YouTube videos can do that.
Not necessarily. If people tune out after the first one, it's not going to matter.
But I think coming out with maybe like a part 1 and being like, this is what we have right now, would be a really good idea.
I agree, but that's a little bit of why we're streaming, is that these are parts of the greater picture. Like, I'm allowing y'all to speak on my platform to be able to give your accounting.
I gotta head out in a little bit, but
Oh my God.
I
You
just
responded
want to say
anything.
before the end of all this is like listen, I just want to ask, do you have enough to call this guy and present him as a predator?
Of course he's gonna say yes. Hello?
Sorry, was that a question, or you were?
Yeah. I was asking, do you personally have
What the
enough
fuck?
to call this
Freudian
person
slip?
like already you've been calling him a predator? That means you have enough testimony, evidence at the moment to present him as a predator in a pretty bulletproof fashion to the public, right? I'm not talking about the court of law. Then that's the part 1 you need. That's what you gotta have. That's what you should produce, and that's what you should release first off.
Oh my God, dude. How long was I muted? I was muted, dude, because I was blowing my fucking nose. Oh, dude, come on, bro. Stop it. Stop. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. I wasn't muted. Okay. What I was saying before was that he seems to have this pattern of pausing or just kind of saying or deflecting in a weird way. Like, what Mudahar asked was a very direct question. He's like, wait, what was that, a question? Or are you making a statement? I think that he was intentionally delaying because I don't think that I think that he feels like he doesn't have enough information. What I said is either you should have made that video already if you had the information, or if you can't make the video, if you can't make that video yet, then you wait until the legal proceedings are over. But if the number one primary thing is to get this guy arrested or excuse me, if the number one thing is to get him to stop engaging in the bad behavior, the most necessary thing to do would be to go through the court route first. That would make more sense than anything else.
Yo, did he end stream?
Because that's the most important part in presenting a story. You have enough already.
Okay, sorry.
Present that.
Fucking jumping the gun, bad, dude.
Then you can follow up with the whole story as it develops.
Jesus.
Right now, the story needs to be presented in a proper way that will absolutely.
I just saw it like load for 1 second. I'm like.
And as far as doxing goes, here's my personal thing, right? Like, I really don't think anybody should be making matter-of-fact statements about somebody being a pedophile unless they have that story that can 100% prove it, right?
I agree with that 100%.
Like, the accusation needs to be out there because, again, you know, that's one of the things that people are calling you out on is like, you're calling this person a predator. Now it's time for you to present actual evidence that he is a full predator. That's exactly what I would be doing to anybody else.
You don't think we should protect that first to see if the police are going to do anything?
Bro, I don't even know what that means. And the reason why I don't know what that means is because the police would tell you what information you should or shouldn't share, right? So didn't you already go to the police? Wouldn't they have said, yeah, don't share this or do share this? And if you can't do it, then you just shut the fuck up about the story. It sounds like he wants his cake and he wants to eat it too. He wants to talk about this regardless. And if he feels like he can't say everything because some of it has to be protected, then he'll just be like, oh, I'm going to talk about it without being able to tell you the proof of it. You're assassinating your own argument here. Like, you're assassinating this entire situation.
But you can't
I mean,
expect
what
people
you
to talk
have
about
right
it.
now, is it going to be something like, what is the evidence, do you believe, is going to be invalidated the moment you release it out in the public, like a message or something?
Correct. Is that not the case?
I mean, your lawyer should be the one discussing it. What does your lawyer say?
Oh, no.
I mean, they said first thing we should do is all go to Georgia and make an accounting, but
They haven't gone to the police yet. That's my opinion based on this. They haven't even gone to the police yet. Okay. You should have already done that. That's if the number one reason that you're doing this is to get this guy off the street, to stop him from harming people, why haven't you done that already? It sounds like you haven't even talked about it. You're like, yeah, well, the guy said the first thing we should do is this. Well, clearly didn't do it, or else you would have said like, yeah, we already did this. This is what we did first. I don't know, dude. I feel like this guy hasn't done anything of any productive level to help this situation.
That's going to take a little bit of time just because we have to get all of the survivors on board and a date and time to do it.
Okay, see? He hasn't done it.
I would say sit down with your lawyer again.
Why haven't you done that?
Because I've never heard any lawyer that would say that to me. Like, you know, hey, if you present this message, it's going to be invalidated, right? Like, you know, I literally released an entire call that I had with somebody just because they were threatening lawsuits.
So he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
How the situation was publicly presented.
No, I gotta get him through like a minute.
Invalidated, right? Even based on technicalities, you can always take things to court.
MamaMax doesn't know shit.
So I would definitely confer with the lawyer again. There is no reason why you shouldn't be able to present that. Absolutely. And if your lawyer's telling you one thing, definitely talk to another lawyer. Get a second opinion for sure. The lawyers are like doctors, okay? They're all going to give you fucking different things. So definitely confer with another lawyer that has more to do with these specific cases. Because hey, law enforcement, we can't sit here and wait for a law enforcement.
Pros is custom hair care made for the label readers.
Sorry.
I guess this is an ad.
Talking about
whether they
fucking
want to
victims.
or not. That's it.
I'll do that.
Anyways, yeah, it's been good talking to you, man. I'll head out. Take care.
Thank you, Muda.
Yeah, night.
Thank you, Muda.
Okay.
Muda said the same shit that I said, and he's like, thank you. But I get kicked twice. It's because he's got 2 million subs. That's just the name
those
of
of
the
you
game.
who are saying I was putting the
Well, I don't really think you guys were saying the same thing, but at the same time, sure.
blame on Muda, I'm not.
That's
But
the name of the game.
I do
Well, you did put a little blame on him. Maybe that's your defense mechanism to blame everybody else for your fucking problems.
acknowledge that I need help with this case.
He's not gonna shit on Muda because he's
That
got
was
the
my
fucking
point.
clout.
And
I'm just a shitter, like, small channel. That's the only difference here. Unbelievable.
Okay.
I always appreciate being able to speak with him.
Like, you always appreciate? So Mudahar gets praise, but I get shit
agree.
on?
Well,
I relaxed, dude.
we'll consult.
You, the two of you weren't communicating the same thing. You guys just weren't communicating the exact same thing. If that's what you meant to communicate, I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, no.
He's just got clout.
I mean,
That's just the
I
game.
already
you
have
know?
a phone call with
Okay.
another
That's
lawyer
just the fucking game.
scheduled for this Monday.
And he's like, I'm gonna take that advice. I'm gonna
But
talk
yeah,
to my
as far
lawyer.
as we were told,
Jesus.
we
Pathetic.
Okay.
were to keep the
I've got
evidence
enough
protected
subs.
until something definitively is done, and then if nothing is definitively done, then
politician
that's the
shit.
time to release it.
It's a weird moving goalpost because you know the police have been contacted so many times.
Like, I appreciate Muda calling in, and it was a good call in.
Marco says, now talk to Xylee. We are down to talk to Xylee.
Xylie's gonna
We're down to
call
talk
in.
to whoever.
Jesus. Like, I appreciate Muda
Wow.
calling in, and it was a good call. But like, he didn't say
It's the
anything.
same thing as
Like,
Muda.
wait, what?
Okay.
I wanted to say, I mean, just
wait, go back. Did you just say
same thing as Muda?
Wait.
Oh, lyrics said the same thing as Muda.
Look at her. He goes and laughs to get validation, looking at her, and she's like, "He did. Are you retarded?" Yeah. And he's just like smug.
I don't know if that's what she's communicating, but okay.
Really laughing. This guy's unbelievable.
Oh, lyrics said the same thing as Muda.
I wanted to say, I mean,
she just seems like she's out of her element because she's not a streamer, and that for some reason he's constantly putting her on blast, which is like super weird.
To kind of defend
yeah, she keeps a straight face. This is humiliating.
There's a lot of moving parts to this shit, and to just be like,
why does he act like he's earned this smugness too? Like he acts so smug and confident. It's
why do you hate him so much? Like I don't particularly care for MamaMax, but like you're really irritated with this guy.
the video on.
By the way, you're not going to delete this VOD, right?
No, of course not.
Magnetar is wondering.
No, I'm not.
Okay, good.
Didn't he delete the VOD almost immediately? Or am I wrong about that?
If you're good at that shit, dude, why don't please do it? Or let's see your work. But like, Max takes a little bit of time to make his videos, and it's been like what 4 weeks since that stream with Muda, and since then 2 new survivors have reached out, which complicates the timeline a little bit. And I understand. I'm sure Muda has had this experience too, where it's like there's a lot of moving parts to his story, and it's still.
As I was saying, like I appreciate Muda calling in. But like Muda didn't say anything different than me. He said the same shit as me. He didn't say anything new. But it's just so telling to see Mama.
Well, he's also exponentially more credible. I mean, Mudahar's that's number one. Number two, what I got out of what Mudahar was saying was basically like, hey, I'd like to believe you, but you need to pose the situation credibly to people so that they will believe you too, especially if you want to be effective. And then gave him like advice. Yours was more of just like kind of debate broing him on some other stuff, which by the way, I'm not even disagreeing with the way that what he was saying with like larynx, right? He wasn't even necessarily wrong, but it wasn't like the same advice, and there's obviously a different intention going in there. Like Mudahar was going in there to give like advice. You were kind of in there to kind of catch him out because he's being, in my opinion, disingenuous. Right, so it's not exactly like same one for one kind of a scenario.
MamaMax's response to Mudahar because he's got the fucking clout versus me.
I guess.
It's just so telling.
4 weeks and no video yet. Like it's like, dude, have you ever edited a fucking video? It takes a long time. And
so then don't talk about it until the video's done. Like
you are the project
this guy's
manager
cringing out pretty hard.
And there's a documentary you're making simultaneously. There's a lot. Sorry, but yeah.
No, you're
dude.
good.
This stream is so good for my main channel video. Holy shit, this is giving me so much gold content. The main channel's fucking coming back better than ever.
Yeah, especially when you're doing stuff like that, where you're like, oh, this is gonna be so good for content. Like, what? Like, obviously, we're watching it for content too, but I think people are gonna get the wrong impression of you if you're, your number one priority, or at least the way that you're saying it is like, oh my god, I want this for the content, right? Like, what are your intentions then? Were you ever gonna be good faith to MamaMax, or are you just looking for the content of like, look, MamaMax is a bad guy? So that's another thing to keep in mind too, whether you use explicit or not. It's something to keep in mind.
We are running like there's so many different things happening. Like it's like where's the video? Where's the full video? So
now he's so aggressive when people are out of the.
I mean, other people have condensed down the timeline. They have made it. It's just not a huge channel like yours. So that is the thing. It's like,
you don't even need a video on Max. What do you mean, dude? Max, I'm gonna draw like the fucking lines between. He has a pattern of this on multiple occasions, as I've shown in the stream. The points I brought up to him, and he could have more. I'm just like researching it right now.
So it's like
I've done like 20% of the research.
Not everyone has like a fucking production team or whatever to edit all the videos.
It's not only this case.
Max is literally editing the shit.
Yeah, I agree with that. Unless these internet poachers are working with authorities to catch criminals, creating this kind of content is gross. Yeah, I agree with you. If they're not doing that, like I tend to agree with you on that one.
And taking all the pieces and putting them together by hand.
I mean,
also at the same time trying to give.
Like if you're going to conduct an is it one thing to have the information versus like conducting an investigation? If you're going to conduct an investigation like this, like it's one thing if then you need to go to the police, because you're not just like, hey guys, a bunch of this information came across me. Look at what this guy is and know what he's about. This is fucked up. That's not what's happening here. They're like, we need to go find more victims. We need to do a PSA. We need to find more things. You're conducting an investigation. You should be working with the authorities at that point.
If everyone is
Slug.
Okay.
But thank you.
Slug is calling
If
him.
you need help with any like creative stuff or video editing, I can help with that. It was my major.
What? I did not know this, Ellie.
Yeah, I was a film major.
Well, we'll have to talk about this later, Ellie.
Oh yeah. Okay. Do film majors know how to video edit?
Got you.
Okay, A24. I want Ellie.
I guess that makes sense.
For real. That's really appreciated.
I can be a video editor, okay?
Yeah, we will talk about that.
Dude, this main channel MamaMax video is gonna go fucking nuts.
Let me just walk y'all through the original plan that changed just because Spencer believed it was a better idea to name drop Camden and face drop him because.
Wait, so now he's pushing the blame onto Spencer for the reason why they name dropped him? Holy shit, he's fucking desperate.
Is that what you just did?
Original plan that changed just because Spencer believed it was a better idea to name drop Camden and face drop him because.
Wait, so now he's pushing the blame on.
Well, why would it matter what Spencer thinks? Spencer's not the big YouTuber that deals with pedophiles on a apparently daily basis like you do. So wouldn't you be the one that would be the authority on the scenario and how to operate correctly? Okay. MamaMax seems like somebody that can't take any accountability. Interesting guy.
For the reason why they name dropped him? Holy shit, he's fucking desperate.
Just be like, oh yeah, I fucked up. I got ahead of myself and I did something professionally. Like, I'm going to go talk to a police officer, for once.
Desperate.
Awareness, which I actually agree with.
Also, why would you need everybody to go to the police station to come forward with your shit that you have? Would you actually need to do that? Can't you go back to the police station and send them other stuff? Hey, we got like 3 people. This happened here. Can we? Okay. If you have any more information, email me. I'm an investigator. Isn't that how this works?
This is where I disagree with Muda. So my original plan was
wait. Now he's having a disagreement after Muda leaves.
Just the trailer. No Camden Gerard Davis.
No shame.
No face reveal. Just that there's a video coming. There's a film. There's a documentary coming.
Okay, so continuously hype up something with no proof that this guy's a predator. That's a great idea. People are really gonna. That's a great idea. Good idea.
Spencer, if I would be a better idea to name drop and face drop.
And now he's shifting the blame to the fucking victim.
The
Holy shit.
That changed everything.
You can't make this up.
Okay.
I do think it was the better choice. Again, I know Muda said like we should not be releasing anything until everything's definitive, but we would not even be talking to you, Ellie, if.
I think that's what he said. He said you should. Oh wait, he did. He said until like you have definitive proof this guy's a predator, you shouldn't release anything. Yeah, you should take that advice.
If we went that route, like we wouldn't even. How many more survivors were there? Like 3 or 4, and like 2 to 3 witnesses and growing. That is the route we went, and because we went that route, obviously there was a lot of
could have gotten Ellie back.
and also these people did not.
Is someone else gonna call in, or are we just about good here?
I think Xylee's gonna call in, maybe.
This is gonna be a shit show when Xyle calls in.
Can't just sit that long, but we thought it would have been enough to at least, hey, there's this guy. Here's Spencer's entire story.
I'm not caught up to the live. Let me 2 times until I caught up to the live.
Even if we're gonna push back a lot of people saying, or not just not leaving us for seconds, I think still was the right choice.
So he hasn't learned
start
anything.
the awareness camp.
He didn't take away anything from any of the calls. Holy shit, that's so good.
Okay.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Cool. Great. That was enough of that. What a fucking shit show nightmare. Okay, cool beans.